A man who inspires me very much recently described marriage as a revolutionary act and as an act of civil disobedience, which at first glance sounded to me like an absolutely preposterous assertion. After all, how can this institution that is seen as being out of date, irrelevant, surplus to requirements, unfit for purpose, how could that possibly be something that could serve as an act of civil disobedience or as a revolutionary act? But after giving it some thought, I can really see why he made such a bold assertion. In a society like the one in which we find ourselves, where almost everything has been sacrificed on the altar of consumerism, where in our me culture we are devoted to personal choice and fulfilling our own dreams and not surrendering ourselves to others or to anything else, neither principles, neither to God. It's all about our own self-determination. And in this culture, to really embark on a lifelong adventure, to show that degree of commitment to the existence of a family or the permanence of a loving relationship, is indeed a revolutionary act. And we only have to think of the weddings that we may have attended in our lifetime and how they seem often to be slightly hollow. You know, how can anyone sit in a wedding ceremony and not be thinking, what are the chances? What are the chances for this couple to overcome the challenges of modern life, to be able to endure in love, in relationship for the rest of their lives? I mean, we only have to look at the divorce statistics to know that it's extremely unlikely that anybody is going to make it through. And yet, it's only one generation, maybe two generations ago, where nearly every couple endured to the very end. My parents, my partner's parents, both stayed together until the very end. And even though I went through periods of time where I would have maybe wished that they had divorced, that it might have brought an end to their bickering, by the time it got to the very end of their life, I saw the gift that their enduring companionship brought to them. In their 70s and their 80s, they became the envy of many people with whom they came into contact. The treasure of having a relationship that has managed to endure all the storms of life is something which is very difficult to measure. And the thing is that what brings that treasure, what brings that gold into existence, is the very act of commitment. It's the commitment that I will go through this no matter what, that brings sense and makes sense out of all the suffering that we endure along the way. In the life of a couple, we are absolutely certainly going to encounter moments of poor health, financial struggle, the tiredness that accompanies having a family, stresses with work, stresses with our love life. And without that absolute unwavering commitment, one is conflicted. Do I go? Is this relationship not good enough for me? Is this marriage not working for me? And we can see the effects of that in our society. Is this working for me? Well, this man whom I referred to earlier asserts that a marriage is not something that exists just for us. In fact, that it is the act of marriage it's a bond which actually serves the culture. It serves the family. It serves children. It's a pillar to society. It's a bond that brings two people together around which a community is formed, through which a family can grow. I'm yet to meet someone for whom the breakdown of their family has really worked. You know, the possibility and the potential that appears to people as they consider separation, especially in the context of a family with children, seems to last just as long as the separation, or maybe a little bit afterwards. But I'm yet to meet a single parent who really rejoices in the choice that they made. Now, there's no judgment from me, because goodness only knows, you know, there must be untenable marriages, and many marriages are made. Many people stand at their weddings without really having given too much thought to what that lifelong commitment might really entail. Goodness only knows the feelings of romance and the impetuousness of love often blind us to very obvious issues that we're going to entail. They can deceive us as to the qualities of our partners, and whether or not that wholesale ability to embrace all that life can bring is truly there or not. So marriage as a revolutionary act is something that I really wish to support couples in forming. If I work with a couple leading towards marriage, I want to have an extended process and some very frank conversations, because I don't want to be part of the sort of marriage that crumbles in the first few months and years, nor even the first few decades. I would like for my record as a wedding minister to be one of 0 divorce rate. If you wish to make your marriage a revolutionary act, rather than some fleeting moment of consumerist delight, where one has to have a partner to accompany one's car and one's profession and one's general standing in society, if your wedding day is more about a collection of photographs or the ring on your finger, then I will not be the wedding celebrant for you. But if you, as a couple, would like to make vows and a heartfelt commitment an alchemical cauldron in which your lifetime's personal development can be poured, then you may have found your man. So, if you'd like to talk to me about the possibility of supporting you with a marriage, then it will be quite a process. There will be many meetings leading up to the wedding day, and I will ask for a lot. But that's possibly just the first hurdle in your lifetime's adventure, because if you commit to each other, that is going to demand more than we could ever imagine on that day that we find ourselves surrounded by friends and family to bless us on a lifetime's adventure.